Okay, good morning. So we started yesterday a Sichah on Vayeira. It's in Chelik Chof, page 61. He said the story that Rebbe Rashab, when he was 4 or 5 years old, he came into his grandfather, Tzemach and he started crying. Why did Avram Avinu, why was he Zeicha that Hashem came to him? And to him, the Rebbe Rashab, Kaviyach Hashem didn't appear to him. So the Tzemach said, as a Yid, a 99 Sigur, he is machlet that he gives himself a bris, so he's worthy that Hashem should appear to him. So the Rebbe says that every story, especially if it's printed, obviously it's a hira to every single person, and we have to understand that this Vayeira Hashem al Avram is not a new thing. Park said it a few times, so suppose that Rebbe Rashab got excited from the beginning of Parshas Vayeira. And so if you want to say that, let's say, okay, the way that children learn, so he didn't learn, let's say, the end of Parshas Lech Lecha, but the beginning of Parshas Lech Lecha he for sure learned. So why didn't he say anything? And why didn't the Rebbe Rashab, why didn't the Tzemach Tzedek at least speak up and say, this is not the first time that this happened? So, yeah, that's basically where we left off, and we're holding Dalet. Okay, just want to, I don't know if I put on my status, but we're making a Siyum on Kiddushin. So, at the beginning I was saying, okay, anybody who learns it should come, but then I'm thinking, the people that learned, they don't really need the chizuk of the Siyums. The people that fell off the bandwagon, they need the chizuk. So, coming tomorrow is going to be 8 o'clock, a full meal, catered by Levi Fagenson. So come tomorrow, Mitzvah Hashem, 8 o'clock. Probably be like, I would say 8 to 10, 10:30. It's not going to be a long program, but it's going to be here in Mitzvah Hashem in the show. So everyone's invited. Okay, now, you can say the explanations as follows. The Tzveimol Vayeira in Parshas Lech Lecha is given, Akdama v'Avchana, Sanamira Vayeira Hashem Vayemer. So you could say that the 2 times that it says in Parshas Lech Lecha, Vayeira, that Hashem appeared to Avram, this is a preparation for our Parsha, Vayeira Hashem Vayemer, Uvemela. Therefore, Hadnitkin or the Vayeira Tzumeinim, so Vachasnita the Amira. So over here, this is a different type of Vayeira. This is a Vayeira Hashem Avram Vayemer. So the Vayeira, the 2 times in Lech Lecha, is a Hakdama to our Vayeira, which proceeded with a Vayemer, and it doesn't have a place to Vacha is Nita the Amira. Mashiach Elzer said is not given Cain Amira. Other cases of Behemshech to Vayeira. So in our parsha, there's Vayeira Hashem Avram and no Vayemer. The Vayeira is given on Inyan Farzich. This Vayeira was by itself, and therefore had sich the Rebbe Nishmas in the Faranda giving Dafke Bekesher to them Vayeira. So the Rebbe Rashab, he was crying by this Vayeira, not Lech Lecha. Why? Okay, why? Because it's a different. Very.
This here, before was Vayeira, the Abishah spoke to someone. So
the Abishah appeared and he said something. In fact, it's reminding me, the Gur Aryeh says, it's interesting, here is Mevakar Chela, and Vayeira Lo Hashem, as all garnish. What does Rashi say, Mevakar Sachela? So, did he say something? Did he not say anything? Did he come? So the Gur Aryeh says that, no, the Abishah didn't say a word. And just, he came, it's a lesson. Sometimes, we go to a Shiva house, we go to Makar, we come to the hospital, we get awkward, we have nothing what to say. We're just, I don't want to go there because I don't want it to be awkward. And we all go through that, we sit by, we just sit there and stare, we don't have what to say, we don't want to sound foolish. So it's interesting, I was thinking from this Gur Aryeh, it's like you see that the Abishah came Vayeira Lo Hashem, he came just for the sake of coming, I'm here, didn't even say anything. Now the Rebbe says, "Avidos is nit ois gehalten." Now this pshat is not so gleich. Why? Val in the brackets. Afilo if the Vayeira is given to live an Amira. Even if you want to say that the Pashas Lech Lecha the Vayeira was for an Amira, if him mindoch become mekim as we used to Vayeira Hashem Avram, Vayeira Hashem El Gamer unback them of Vayeira Hashem. You find many times it says Vayeira Hashem whatever, and there's no preface of Vayeira Hashem. is there fun, mashmas, ich da, is there Vayeira and Nimas. I mean, nicht nur tzli b'amir. So, therefore, you must say that the Vayeira over here is something for itself, nothing to do with the Amira. So now the question goes back. Now, it's nice to listen. In addition, the Vayeira from Uzer said, hat gehat asibe, amatar miyuchedes. Vidash, if shouldn't make zok levaker sachelo, by dem Nemnish was is doch nicht given the siba. Now, you can ask a question. In addition to the fact that it has to do without that, even without saying that we left the chazan amira and here there's no amira, so that you can't say because you find many times there's an amira without the akdama Vayeira. And the Rebbe says even more. Rashi says clearly that levakar sachira. Say what's the question? Now, in Bala Turim state as Vayeira Lov Hashem. I have hey, no?
We are not.
Okay. In Bala Turim state as Vayeira Lov Hashem, Parsha Sin is given b'shvil hamila. The Bala Turim says in the beginning of the parsha that why did Hashem appear to him was b'shvil hamila. Schos was Avram mekayim given says mila. He learns that why Hashem appeared to him is in the merit of the fact that Avram gave himself a bris. So based on the Bala Turim, you can answer as in them is by started the taina ungivein from Nebnish must say that now we can understand the taina, the complaint, the cry of the Rebbe Hashem. By him is the schus for mila. So since the Rebbe Hashem also has a schus for mila, right? The Rebbe Hashem, like every child, he had mitzvah mila, and the Rebbe brings up 14, even though his mila was pushed off. I'm sorry, even though the milas are not pushed off, even though his mila obviously happened many, many years, or at least 4 years before he came. The Dibber kommt euch in der Schar from Vayeira Lov Hashem. So he says, one second, if mila gets a schar, so why don't I get the schar? If then what them there, Simel said again, as man ken sich nicht voneinander gleichen, to Avram, you can't compare yourself to Avram. Was ein Mrs. Mila hat gehat an Meile Miyechedes. Hat sich mal gewöhnt zu 99 Jahren. Und therefore hat Dafke sich gewöhnt zum Vayeira. So, the Rebbe Rashab is coming to him and saying, if it's about Mrs. Mila, we all have Mrs. Mila. So, some of said, no, it doesn't work that way. Avram Avinu was 99 years old, so he was Sichah. Now, the Rebbe says, this is Adeiche Gadol. This is we can't say this. Val Aleph. Rashi is mefarish kanal as the Vayeira Lov Hashem is given nitztam aschar b'shvil mila no levakar sachila. Rashi says clearly, it's not that he did a mitzvah of mila and Mr. Nefesh, so he got a schar to levakar sachila. Sorry, Rashi says clearly it's levakar sachila. Is done Rashi shot is for the Mechaber to mikvah. It's Mistabra as the shadow from Rebbe Nishmas in is a kid from fear or the fin of yard is galton like Pirish Rashi from Bazik. So the Rebbe Hasham's questions obviously always galton according to the way Rashi wrote his Pirish, which is 4 or 5 years old. And Beis, I feel like so you can't say that it's like the Baal Turim says this is for the schus. And Beis, I feel like the Leiden Pirish for Baal Turim. Even if you want to say according to the Baal Turim, Baal das sich wegen dem Rebbe Nishmas and since we're talking about the Rebbe Rashab was Zaydek Akin is in ihm gewen Niker am ein von seinen spätere Kamailas Kanal Butzen Mekat for Yidiyah. Now we know that Rebbe Rashab, like we brought this, like the marshal with the pumpkins, you can already see when he's a little child, you can see his kasherness. For sure, the Rebbe Rashab, even if he was just 4 or 5 years old, he knew Avram Avinu's milas. Malachas kam v'kamer hat verstanden die Meile achib shutte v'gluya milas Avram Avinu legab mitzvahs mila b'chlal. Every child, it's not so complicated to understand that Avram Avinu was 99 years old and had Mr. Nefesh. That's what he was echel. Was that is given, was sie is given in Elter von 99 Jahr. Then kind art as the Rebbe was in I feel als kind als the vergleichen to Avram Avinu. So the Rebbe Rashab, it's impossible to say that he will equate himself to Avram Avinu. Bis zu haben a Teiner, was der Eberster hat sich bewiesen zu Avram Avinu beschlossen Milo, und zu ihm beweist sich nicht. Okay, so now the Rebbe says it's from both. The explanation is as follows. As Adarab, on the contrary, the Teiner now from Rebbe Nishmas Eden is gekommen Takim mit Tzadem, was hat gewusst, was Rashi sagt, Vayeira Lov Hashem is given Levakar Sachila. The Rebbe Rashab learned Rashi. And he learned Vayeira Lov Hashem, and Rashi says there, why? To Mevaka the Chela. Luli Pirish Rashi, what in the God can time for us, der Eberster beweist sich nicht zu ihm wie zu Avram Avinu. Weil wie ist dann Shaykh, as soll sich vergleichen zu Avram Avinu. Now, if Rashi wouldn't have said Levakas Achela, so you would say, okay, it makes a lot of sense why Avram Avinu was Zeicha, because he's 99 years old, or because he had this mysterious nefesh. Yes, Vayeira Lav Hashem is the ben Levakas Achela from Gemilas Chasadim, if the reason why Hashem appeared to him, like Rashi says, is to visit the sick, which is an union of Gemilas Chasadim. Those says the Vayeira is given nit as mitzad milas what degas Avram Avinu. It wasn't mitzad Avram Avinu's mila, nor mitzad midas chazer shalak Kadosh Baruch Hu. Because the Rebbe Tainet, bald das im art was the Eberster beweist sich nicht zu ihm, wie man hat danach gesehen. Also hat ihm gebracht zu Pechia, after the Eberster gave him chesed sein, euch mit ihm und beweisen sich euch zu ihm. So he says that if this is about the Vakas Achela, which is a Gemilas Chasadim of Hashem, so that Hashem, I deserve it as well. Well, if he says, for Pashtus was nicht gefragt auf die zweimal, Vayeira Shemel Avram in Pashtus Lachachol. So now it's understood why the Rebbe Rashab didn't question Pashtus Lachachol. All dort is the Vayeira given verbunden mit Ma'alos Shel Avram Avinu. Over there, it has to do with the Ma'al of Avram. Man kann sich nicht vergleichen zu Avram Avinu. So the Rebbe Rashab knew when it comes to Avram Avinu's quality, you can't compare yourself to Avram. So what was his time? His time was Hashem appeared to Avram. Mitzad Gemilas Chasadim Levakas Achela. So I deserve it as well. If them hot in the Tzemach Tzedek get entfered as Ayid, Chuli is Machlet as darf sich mol sein, is wert as the Eberstein soll sich beweisen zu ihm. So Tzemach Tzedek answered and said that Ayid who decides to give himself a bris at this age, he deserves that Hashem should come to him. No, but the whole because bigger chelim, like the Gemara in Bamitzir says, that Rambam says is an in of Gemilas Chasadim. So if it's about Gemilas Chasadim, he deserves it as well. You don't have to do anything. It's nothing to do with you. Gemilas Chasadim is I'm doing something that nothing to do with your mila. You're privileged. Now, Chosh Vayeira Hashem is love Hashem is given nit mitzad malas madringas Avram Avinu nor mitzad Gemilas Chasadim. So Baruch that ben aber vert zayin the Gemilas Chasadim zayin akli to them to their gilui. So what did the Tzemach Tzedek answer? He said, "You're right. Yes, it has to do with the mila. It has to do with Gemilas Chasadim. But like Mati, this is what you're alluding to. You have to do something. You have to get a kli to get this gilui. You have to be zeichet it. When the kli to him is the achlata as in welchem matzav erzol nor zayin. So what's this? How do you get this kli? How do you make this kli when you decide that you want to whatever situation you're in? I feel ben there is an adagah for not tzaddik. So not tzikar, avrizach mol zayin. So even at this level, you have to make a kli. Like by Avram Avinu, 99 years old, he decided to give himself a bris, so he's worthy that Hashem should appear to him. Zayin. If them beer can now come the fragen. Now, based on this last explanation, you can ask: safe is the inyan from Bikar Chedim. This stam an inyan from Gemilas Chasadim, and nor as hatan teichem yuchel as verbunden mit achela dafke. Now, at the end of the day, Gemilas Chasadim is connected with the chayla. Der Bikar vergringert when the Yisurim from the chayla und das Gufe helft zu sein davor. As we know, the Meiri Nedarim says that when you visit someone who's sick, you make it easier for the chayla. So it has to do dafka with the chayla. Wie steht in Gemara, as nimmt zu Echad B'Shisha from the Megillah, especially what the Gemara in Nedarim says, that it takes away a 60th of a person's sickness just by coming and visiting. Was that safig by a bigger for not ben Adam, a regular person? As that Ebersh's bigger chayla pales zichim before his chayla. So for sure, if Hashem is coming, for sure that's going to affect that he'll have a refuah shlema. So what's the question? Yeah, so first of all, it's connected with the chayla. Now, what's the question? Right. So now, what's the question? So Never says, so what's the question? If he has the Rebbe Nishmas of Glen von Vayeira Lav Hashem Levaker es hachele as the Eberster beweist sich zu lieb an andere Inge von Gemilas Chasadim, was es nicht verbunden mit Achille, was darf haben davor, und der Mevaker is Neitel Nechelye. So the Rebbe says a very simple question. The Rebbe Rashab is saying, why, or the Rebbe is saying, I explained that the Rebbe Rashab cried because it has to do with Gemilas Chasadim Vakas Achela. Yeah, but it's Gemilas Chasadim. So first of all, he answered in Keli, but still, the Vakas Achela has to do with the Chela. So how could the Rebbe Shab wasn't a Chela then? So what was his question? What was his? Now the Rebbe says like this: "Vet min das verstehen behektem was die Gemara lernt auf von Vayeira." It's amazing how the Rebbe takes a small story that we learn as in the Rebbe Shab and Pashatai 6, the last Sichah we learned, this Sichah, and he was just 4 or 5 years old. So the Rebbe says like this: "Vet min das verstehen behektem was die Gemara lernt auf von Vayeira Hashem as Pulvi HaKadosh Baruch Hu Biker Chedam." So the Gemara says like this. The Gemara says in Sichah that from the pasuk Vayeira Hashem, the Gemara says that just like Hashem is Mavaker Chelim, Af Ata Biker Baker Chelim. So too you have to visit the sick. Was euch in dem is nicht verstanden aderach kushenal. Also, this was not understood. The Gemara sagt, dass Dafke bei Ben Gilei von dem Chela wird durch sein Biker Chelim aufgetan an Eitel Mechaye. So the Gemara over there, and the Darv says that Dafke when the person is like has a certain I said Ben Gilei in English, it's not only age, it's he has like his mazel, so he's able to take away 1/60th of the chela. Hi, if he came in upline in their phone was HaKadosh Baruch Hu Biker Chelim was sein Biker Chelim is Sichah nach Mervi Ben Gilei as by Yeda Eden was Rubim Zanit Vere Gilei as sein Biker Chelim. Now, how can we learn Hashem? He comes, he's for sure going to heal you. How could you learn that every single person he has to be Mavaker Chelim, which we know not every person is a Ben Gilei of the other. Rashi says, as Rashi's Menam is then Beer al Zeh the Perushi Da'al Teda. Rashi alludes to this on the Pirush of the Teda. The Mitzvah says, Levakas Achela, Amr of Chama Rachanina, Yevstisha, the Minoseh, Ubal, Baruch, Shalom B'Shlem. And Rashi says right away that it was the third day, and Hashem came to visit him. Now, what are we bringing out of it? The Chel is not moving the Arichas B'Lashon Rashi. As Zogdach, Shein Levakas Achela is Vos is the Ermesiv, Ubal, Baruch, Shalom B'Shlem. Pashta Shaila is, what does Rashi say? Levakas Achela, Hashem came and came to visit him. So why does Rashi have to say that? No, the mid Bavarn, Rashi wants to Bavarn, das was the Ebershter gekommen zu Avram Levakas Achela, es ist nicht given Kedei zu Arabnem and Fun Zayin Cheli. So therefore, he's saying that that Hashem didn't come to take away the pain. Nar Bloy is Lishol B'Shleimi, come on, but he only came Pasha to visit him, to see how he's doing. Ches. Nach Vayeira Love Hashem state as Avram had gesehen Shleish Anashim Tzov Malov. Now, right after Hashem appeared to Avram, the pasuk says that Avram saw 3 men, 3 malachim there. So Rashi as einer von Zeh is gekommen der Rabbis is Avram. So Rashi says over there, one of them was to come to heal Avram. Bald as Saivi euch on Vayeira Love Hashem as Avram euch gehalten, euch gehilt. Wir waren in ganzen durch Malach Fall. Now, even without Hashem coming, Avram Avinu is getting healed through Malach Fall, und gleich wie is gekommen, like as we know, the second he came, hat das doch nicht kein Ort zu sagen, als mit a Weile früher, so der Eberster kommen wir dich zu abnehmen von ihm, bloß Echem Mishishim Mechali. So it doesn't make sense that right before that, Hashem should come and take away 1/60th of his sickness. There is Rashi Medayik, so therefore what does Rashi say? Uva HaKadosh Baruch Hu B'Shalom B'Shleimei. As the Matara from the Biker Chelim Shal HaKadosh Baruch Hu is given, nicht l'rapes, HaKaponim Echem Mishishim. Hashem didn't come to Avram then to heal him, or to heal him even a little bit. Or blows an ear from Gemilas Chasadim. It was Pasha the Indian of doing Chesed. Or their fire landmen their phone them Chiyuv from Vaker Chelim, or if you had the meaning. So now you could learn from Hashem how one has to be Vaker Chelim. Why? Because Hashem didn't come to take away the Chelia. He didn't come outside Ben Gilei. He came Pasha to be there for Avram. We balance the Ebershter to come in the Vakas Achela, as Gemilas Chasadim and Nit, if Arabim and Mechalye, Hashem came to see how he's doing, to see the welfare, the well-being. The Rebbe brought the Rebbe, Nishmas Eden got the Taina, therefore the Rebbe Shab had a Taina, Gemilas Chasadim. If this is about Gemilas Chasadim, after Ebershter about Weisen sich euch to him. So Hashem has to show himself as well to him. Tess. We get Amal Barucha is eine von der Eidos from was man da verreisen von dem Sipper. What's the Eiro we can take out from the story? Wir bauen more an Abend der Leben, was said hat passiert, wenn is given a kind von 4 to 5 Jahr, Botzer mit Bar Shis. He was less than 6 years old. is there fun. And as we said, we brought down that less than 6 years old, don't even teach him Torah, or don't try. Is there fun ayira? So what's the lesson? As I feel akin was his alt fear or the finif yor can min by him areis rufen durch chinuch kediboi achuka tzuruchnis and get the chayt biz achuka niflo was ruft areis bechia. So first of all, if you the right chinuch, you could instill in this child that he should have a cry and a desire for Hashem. Und es ist nicht gestire mit dazu, but she does a Rambam and again them even limit with the nakot, and it's not a stira what the Rambam writes in Pirush Mishnayos that by a child as medarf im mezar zayin b'dvarim shehein ahuv metzle the katna shanav karav edan gezim canal. So it's not like it's not a stira what the Rambam says that by a child you have to talk his language, you have to give him like nuts and give him different candy to get him excited. So after this happened, the Friedrich Rebbe is telling us the way of chinuch. So what's the lesson? This was also the Sichah Tezvav that he opened up a channel to educate our children this way. As we find many things in halacha that the answer is, the body's changed. Okay. Yud. We have to have an explanation. For was Taka hat sich der Indien aufgetan erst der Sachrenim. Und durch Amore was hat passiert mit dem Rebbe Nishmaseden. What's up is Dafke now, after that happened with the Rebbe Rashab, and the Friedrich Rebbe telling us this opened up a new channel to educate our children like this. But when das verstehen back to our beer was the Giluf von Primus Ateris gekommen Dafke, mit der Sachrenim durch Narizal und danach durch Nabal Shemtev, bis an Eifem von Asagwa waren durch Teres Achsidis Chabad, the Lechera Ershad Dore Betvia. So the Cheda, Chassidus, if it's so important, why did it only come the times of the Arizal or Baal Shem Tov? Why wasn't it created beforehand? As Yedua, Einer from the Biyunim says, no, one of the explanation, as Adram, Tzadem, was B'dei Sachinim is the Cheshach Gereser. Therefore, Habana Isafa in Eira Kedusha, since in the later generation, it's so dark, we need to have a very strong Kedusha. There's a Zech, but in our case, Misad, is Gabas Cheshach Shabbat Achinim, Haben Dafke, yes, Gegeben dem Kech, and Mechanas and the Kin, Botzim in Bar Shis, as Zuchlis and Alikus, Olvern, Atel from Zayin 11. Since the darkness is so strong, so we're able to give the ability that even less than 6 years old, we can educate our children and instill this love for Hashem. What das is at the time was Ingen Zel hat sich aufgetan durch am Ure, was hat passiert mit dem Rebbe Nishmased. And this is that happened after with the Rebbe Rashab. Mit Yonam am Yichod of Rebbe Rashab, was the Eden is given, was hat Miyasek given Yeshivas Tem Chefimim, we was all learning Nigla the Tere zusammen mit Primus Tere Al Tere Achas. What was the Rebbe Rashab? One of his many Chidushim, he started Tere Chefimim. What's Tem Chefimim? Chassidus and Nigla together. Als Akdom the two hat men gedarf Pesach sein Anayat Zinner, Anayim Derech and Ina Chinuch, as Afilu when their kin is nar alt, is nar alt fear of the finif yor, can by im Arisruf and Achukin in Flar is Lust, as that Eberster soll sich zu ihm beweisen. So the Rebbe Rashab taught us and gave us the koyach that we could tap to educate our child this way. On Hanaga Amuri by the Velchem Aruf Meshiche, but the Achana Guruf Kreva to be as Guliv Mashiach, when it's bet Zayin Vayeira Hashem, but Igor Kved Hashem Ro Kol Basa Yato Kibir Hashem Dibar, Mata Masar Tvachim. So this will lead us to Mashiach, we call it Mamish, and Osimar Do Malka Mashiach.